Introduction. Have you ever felt that quiet whisper of doubt that stops you from speaking up, from taking that exciting leap, or from truly believing in your own worth? Perhaps you've stood on the edge of a new opportunity, feeling the tug of excitement, only for that familiar wave of hesitation to wash over you, shrinking your possibilities. Maybe you found yourself constantly seeking approval from others, measuring your value by their reactions, or feeling shattered by criticism, however small. You're not alone. This silent struggle, this wrestling with self-doubt and a fragile sense of worth, is a common human experience. It can manifest in many ways: hesitating to apply for that dream job, shrinking from social interactions, second-guessing every decision, or simply feeling a persistent sense that you're not quite good enough, no matter what you achieve. But what if you could change that? What if you could build an inner fortress of strength and self-belief that no external storm could easily shake? This book is your guide to doing just that. It's an invitation to embark on a transformative journey towards cultivating a deep, inherent well of self-confidence and self-worth that will serve as your bedrock, unshaken by life's inevitable ups and downs. This isn't about puffing up your ego or faking it until you make it. It's not about becoming arrogant or believing you're perfect. True self-confidence and self-worth are far more profound and far more peaceful. They are about recognizing your own inherent value, understanding your capabilities, and knowing that you are fundamentally worthy of respect, love, and happiness simply because you exist. It's about quiet strength, self-acceptance, and a solid foundation within yourself that allows you to move through the world authentically and powerfully. Why does this matter so profoundly? Because a strong sense of self-confidence and self-worth is the key that unlocks almost every door to a fulfilling life. Imagine making decisions not from fear or the need for approval, but from a clear understanding of what's right for you. Picture yourself navigating setbacks with resilience, learning from mistakes without being crushed by them, and pursuing your passions with courage. Think about forming healthier, more genuine relationships where you can show up as your true self, rather than constantly trying to please or perform. When you feel confident in your abilities and secure in your worth, you speak your truth, you pursue meaningful goals, you set healthy boundaries, and you recover from challenges more quickly. You stop waiting for permission to be yourself, and you start living fully. It impacts your career, your relationships, your physical health, and your overall sense of joy and purpose. This journey is not about becoming a different person. It's about uncovering the incredible, capable, and worthy person you already are beneath layers of doubt and fear. It's about building skills and shifting perspectives that allow that true self to shine brightly. It's a journey of understanding, practical application, and consistent, compassionate effort. And the beautiful truth is, self-confidence and self-worth are not fixed traits you're born with, like eye color. They are not granted to a select few and withheld from others. Instead, they are much like a muscle. Just as you can train your body to become stronger and more agile, you can train your mind and spirit to cultivate deeper levels of confidence and worth. Studies in psychology have consistently shown that these qualities are dynamic and can be developed through deliberate practice and changing our internal narratives. Every step you take, every new understanding you gain, every small action you implement will strengthen this inner foundation. So are you ready to stop letting self-doubt hold you back? Are you ready to claim your inherent worth and step into a life of greater courage, authenticity, and peace? This book is your companion, your guide, and your cheerleader on this incredible path. Let's begin. The promise of an unshakable you awaits. Chapter 1. Decoding Confidence and Worth. What are they, really? We often use the words confidence and self-worth interchangeably, as if they are the same thing. But they are distinct, and understanding the difference is the first crucial step toward cultivating both. Think of it like this. One is about what you can do, and the other is about who you are. While they are deeply connected, knowing their individual roles will empower you to build a stronger, more resilient inner foundation. Let's start with self-confidence. In its simplest form, self-confidence is your belief in your ability to succeed at a specific task, in a particular situation, or in a general area of your life. It's often situational. For example, You might be highly confident in your ability to bake a delicious cake because you've done it many times and consistently get good results. You know the steps, you've mastered the techniques, and you trust your skills. This is task-specific confidence. Or perhaps you feel confident speaking about a topic you're deeply knowledgeable about, like your job or a hobby. You believe you can articulate your thoughts clearly and answer questions effectively. This is skill-based confidence. Self-confidence is built through experience, practice, and a track record of past successes, however small. When you try something, even if you stumble a bit and you eventually achieve it or learn from the process, your confidence in that area grows. It's a dynamic quality that fluctuates. You might be confident in one area of your life, like your professional skills, but less confident in another, like your social interactions or your ability to handle unexpected changes. This ebb and flow is perfectly normal. It means your confidence is a measure of your perceived capability in a given context. It's about having faith in your actions and abilities. Now let's talk about self-worth. This is where things get deeper, more fundamental. Self-worth is the inherent belief that you are valuable and deserving of love, respect, and happiness. Simply by existing, it is not conditional. It doesn't depend on your achievements, your appearance, your job title, your relationship status, or how many followers you have on social media. It's the quiet, unwavering knowledge that you are enough, just as you are, imperfections and all. Self-worth is the deep-seated understanding that your value as a human being is intrinsic, not something you have to earn or prove. Think of it this way. Your self-confidence might be shaken if you fail at a task. For instance, if that cake you tried to bake collapses, but your self-worth should remain intact. Your ability to bake a cake has nothing to do with your fundamental value as a person. You are still worthy of love and respect, even if your culinary skills aren't perfect. True self-worth means that even on your worst day, when you feel you've failed or fallen short, you still hold the conviction that you are a valuable human being. It's about recognizing your inherent dignity. The connection between these two is profound. While self-confidence can exist without a strong sense of self-worth, think of someone who is highly skilled and successful, but constantly driven by external validation, never feeling truly fulfilled. Truly stable, unshakable self-confidence often springs from a strong sense of self-worth. If your self-worth is conditional, meaning you believe you are only valuable when you succeed, when others approve of you, or when you meet certain standards, then your self-confidence will always be fragile. It will rise and fall with every external event, every compliment, and every criticism. This is like building a magnificent house, your confidence, on shifting sand, conditional self-worth. When the storms come, the house will crumble. But when your self-worth is a solid, unshakable bedrock, your confidence can be challenged without your entire sense of self collapsing. You can fail at a task, learn from it, and try again, knowing that your fundamental value remains unchanged. It's easy to fall prey to common misconceptions about confidence and worth. Many people believe confidence means being loud, extroverted, or always having the right answer. But true confidence can be quiet and humble. It's not about needing to prove anything to anyone, but rather about trusting yourself. Someone who is genuinely confident doesn't need to dominate a conversation. They are comfortable listening and speaking their truth when it feels right. Another common myth is that self-worth means never making mistakes or being perfect. This is a trap. The pursuit of perfection is often a symptom of low self-worth, a desperate attempt to earn value that is already yours. True self-worth embraces imperfection, knowing that mistakes are part of being human and opportunities for growth, not evidence of inadequacy. Where do these ideas of confidence and worth come from? Our understanding of these concepts is often shaped by societal messages and early life experiences. From a young age, we are taught to value achievement. Good job. You got an A. You won first place. These messages, while well-intentioned, can inadvertently teach us that our worth is tied to our performance. We learn that success equals value, and failure means the opposite. Similarly, interactions with caregivers, teachers, and peers play a significant role. If we received consistent, unconditional love and acceptance, regardless of our performance, we likely developed a stronger sense of inherent worth. If we were criticized, harshly ignored, or made to feel like our value was conditional, it can lead to deeply ingrained beliefs that we are not enough, which then chips away at our sense of worth and makes confidence feel elusive. It's like being told the rules of a game without anyone telling you that the game of life isn't just about winning or losing. It's about playing, learning, and being. Now let's take a moment for a gentle check-in. There's no judgment here, only curiosity. Think about a recent situation where you felt unsure or hesitant. What was that whisper in your mind? Was it about your ability? I can't do this. Or your fundamental value? I'm not good enough to even try this. Or consider a time when you received criticism. Did it sting because it challenged your belief in your skills, confidence, or did it feel like a deep personal attack that questioned your very being, self-worth? This simple distinction can begin to illuminate where you might be leaning. For example, imagine you have an opportunity to present an idea at work. If your internal dialogue sounds like, I don't think I've prepared enough. I might forget my points. Someone else could probably explain this better. This is largely a confidence issue. You're questioning your ability to perform a specific task. If your internal dialogue sounds like, my idea probably isn't good enough anyway. No one ever listens to me. I'm not smart enough to have valuable ideas. I'll just embarrass myself. This taps into self-worth. You're questioning your fundamental value and intelligence, believing you inherently lack worth. See the subtle but significant difference? One is about skill and preparation. The other is about identity and inherent value. Understanding this distinction is not about labeling yourself, but about giving you a more accurate map of your inner landscape. It allows you to target your efforts more effectively. If it's a confidence issue, you might focus on gaining more knowledge, practicing a skill, or getting more experience. If it's a self-worth issue, you'll need to dig deeper, challenge those core beliefs about your value, and practice self-acceptance. In the coming chapters, we will explore practical, actionable ways to strengthen both, ensuring that your foundation is as solid as can be. This clarity is your first powerful step. You are on your way to building something truly unshakable. Chapter 2. Your inner critic, unmasking limiting beliefs. If you've ever felt held back, not by external circumstances, but by an invisible force within, chances are you've met your inner critic. This is that persistent, often harsh internal voice that whispers doubts, fears, and judgments. It's the voice that tells you, you're not good enough, you'll fail, don't even try, or what will people think? For many, this voice can feel like a constant companion, a shadow that dims their potential and undermines their happiness. It's sneaky, often sounding like objective truth when in reality, it's just a collection of old unhelpful thoughts and beliefs. Think of your inner critic as a highly skilled, incredibly persistent prosecutor in the courtroom of your mind. It gathers evidence against you, interprets every stumble as proof of your inadequacy, and always seems to be building a case for why you should stay small, stay safe, and avoid anything that might lead to discomfort or failure. It exaggerates your flaws, downplays your strengths, and is a master of what-if scenarios, always painting the bleakest picture. So where do these limiting beliefs come from? They don't just appear out of nowhere. Our brains are incredibly efficient learning machines, and they absorb information from our environment from the moment we are born. Much of our inner critic's script is written during our formative years. Consider the messages you received as a child. Were you told explicitly or implicitly that you weren't smart enough, pretty enough, or strong enough? Did a well-meaning parent caution you against taking risks? Be careful, you'll fall. Leading you to believe the world is a dangerous place and you are fragile? Perhaps you had a teacher who was overly critical, or a peer group that made you feel like an outsider. These experiences, especially if repeated, can lay the groundwork for core limiting beliefs. It's not always overt criticism. Sometimes limiting beliefs stem from observing others or from societal expectations. We see polished images of success on social media and unconsciously absorb the belief that we must be perfect, wealthy, or effortlessly happy to be worthy. We hear stories of others' failures and internalize the fear that the same fate awaits us. For example, If you grew up in an environment where mistakes were met with severe punishment or shame, you might develop the limiting belief, I must be perfect or I am worthless. If you were consistently overlooked or told your opinions didn't matter, you might internalize, my voice doesn't matter, I'm invisible. These become your core assumptions about yourself and the world. The insidious part of these beliefs is how they shape our reality. They act like filters or lenses through which we interpret every new experience. If you hold the limiting belief, I'm always unlucky, your brain will automatically seek out and amplify every small misfortune while largely ignoring moments of good fortune. This is partly due to something psychologists call confirmation bias, our tendency to seek out, interpret and remember information in a way that confirms our existing beliefs. It's like having a mental magnet for evidence that supports what you already believe about yourself. Imagine you believe, I'm not a good public speaker. When you have to give a presentation, your inner critic goes into overdrive. Every tiny stumble, every moment of nervousness, every yawn in the audience, which might have nothing to do with you, is interpreted as absolute proof of your belief. The positive feedback you receive might be dismissed as pity or politeness. This isn't just a metaphor, it's how our brains work. Repeated thoughts, especially negative ones, strengthen specific neural pathways in the brain. The more you think I'm bad at this, the easier and more automatic that thought becomes, almost like a well-worn path in the forest. Your brain literally becomes more efficient at delivering that particular negative thought. So, how do you unmask these hidden saboteurs? The first and most crucial step is awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Think of it as shining a spotlight into the dark corners of your mind. Here's how you can start to identify your core limiting beliefs. Tune in to the I am statements. Pay attention to the phrases you tell yourself, especially when you feel down, frustrated, or before trying something new. Do you find yourself thinking, I am too old young, I am not smart enough, I am unlovable, I am always messing things up, I am not creative? Write these down. These I am statements are often the bedrock of your limiting beliefs. Recall moments of hesitation or self-doubt. Think about times when you wanted to do something but held back. What was the exact thought that stopped you? If you didn't apply for that job, what was the internal reason? I wouldn't get it anyway. They'd laugh at my resume. If you avoided a social gathering, what was the underlying fear? No one will talk to me. I'll say something stupid. Identify your rules for worthiness. What are the unspoken rules you believe you must follow to be worthy of love, success, or belonging? I must always be strong. I must never ask for help. I must always put others first. I must achieve X before I can be happy. These rules are often a direct result of limiting beliefs about your inherent worth. If you believe you're only worthy when you achieve, you'll set impossible rules for yourself. Trace them back. Once you've identified a few beliefs, gently ask yourself, where did I learn this? Is this truly my thought, or does it sound like something someone else said to me? What evidence do I have that this is absolutely true, and what evidence might contradict it? Often you'll find these beliefs aren't based on current reality, but on past experiences or external voices. For example, if you believe I'm not good with money, perhaps you trace it back to a parent constantly saying, money doesn't grow on trees and we're always struggling. This process requires courage and honesty, but it is incredibly liberating. Once you unmask these beliefs, they lose some of their power over you. They become less like immutable truths and more like old dusty assumptions that you can choose to examine, challenge, and ultimately replace. You are not your thoughts, and you are not your limiting beliefs. You are the observer of them, and that awareness is the beginning of reclaiming your power. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how to directly challenge these internal messages and rewrite the script of your self-talk. Get ready to transform your inner dialogue. Your journey to unshakable confidence starts with listening, and then choosing a different voice. Chapter 3. The Power of Your Words. Mastering Self-Talk. Now that you've begun to unmask the hidden whispers of your inner critic, it's time to tackle the very language it uses, your self-talk. This is the silent, ongoing dialogue you have with yourself throughout the day. Psychologists estimate that we have tens of thousands of thoughts daily, and a significant portion of these are internal conversations. This relentless stream of self-talk profoundly shapes everything about your life, your emotions, your actions, your reactions, and even your physical state. It's like having a constant narrator for your life story, and if that narrator is negative, it can paint your world in shades of doubt and fear. Think of your self-talk as a powerful, unseen force, like a sculptor constantly chipping away at a block of stone. If your self-talk is relentlessly negative, it chips away at your confidence, creating holes and weaknesses. But if it's supportive and encouraging, it carves out strength, resilience, and belief. The words you use to describe yourself, your abilities, and your experiences are not just random thoughts. They are direct commands to your brain, influencing what you focus on and how you feel. The first step to mastering self-talk is to become acutely aware of it. Most of the time, this internal chatter is automatic, unconscious, and therefore incredibly powerful. We don't even notice it's happening. So how do you catch the critic in the act? Become a thought detective. Throughout your day, especially when you feel a dip in mood, a surge of anxiety, or a moment of hesitation, simply pause. Ask yourself, what was I just thinking? Or, what am I telling myself right now? You might be surprised at the stream of negativity that emerges. For example, if you make a small mistake, you might catch yourself thinking, "Ugh, I'm so stupid, I always mess things up." Or before a new task, "I can't do this, it's too hard for me." The thought log, mental or actual. For a few days, try to mentally, or even physically if you wish, track your negative self-talk. You don't need a formal journal, just a mental note. When you catch a negative thought, acknowledge it. There's that thought again, "I'm not good enough." This simple act of noticing without judgment already creates a tiny bit of distance between you and the thought. You are the observer, not the thought itself. Pay attention to your feelings. Our emotions are often a direct result of our thoughts. If you suddenly feel anxious, inadequate, or angry, backtrack. What thought just preceded this feeling? This can be a powerful clue to uncovering hidden self-talk. Once you've started catching these negative thoughts, the next crucial step is to challenge them. Your inner critic might sound authoritative, but its statements are rarely facts. They are often opinions, fears, or old programs running on repeat. Here's how to question them. Is this truly true? If your thought is, "I always fail," pause and ask yourself, is that really true? Have I never succeeded at anything? Or have there been times I succeeded or at least learned something? You'll quickly realize that always and never are almost never true. This starts to chip away at the absolute nature of the thought. Is this thought helpful? Even if there's a kernel of truth in the thought, "I did make a mistake." Ask, is thinking this way helping me right now? Is it motivating me or paralyzing me? Often the answer is no. This shifts your focus from the accuracy of the thought to its utility. What's an alternative way to look at this? This is about reframing. If your thought is, "I messed up that presentation," instead of letting it spiral into, "I'm a terrible public speaker," you might reframe it to, "I learned a lot from that presentation and I can improve for next time," or "I did my best under the circumstances, and that's enough." This isn't about ignoring reality, but about choosing a kinder, more productive interpretation. This approach draws from principles found in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which teaches us that by changing our thoughts, we can change our feelings and behaviors. This leads us to the critical step of reframing from negative to nurturing self-talk. This isn't about forcing yourself to believe things that feel fake or engaging in toxic positivity, where you just slap a happy face on everything and deny your true feelings. That only creates more internal conflict. Instead, it's about being honest but compassionate. If you catch yourself saying, "I'm so stupid for making that mistake," instead of immediately trying to jump to "I'm brilliant," which your brain might reject as unbelievable, aim for something more realistic and kind. "I made a mistake and that's okay, everyone makes mistakes. What can I learn from this?" Or, "That wasn't my best, but I'm still learning and growing." The goal is to talk to yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Imagine your best friend made that exact mistake. Would you call them stupid? Of course not. You'd offer encouragement, a listening ear, and a path forward. Treat yourself with that same gentle respect. Finally, let's talk about crafting empowering affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that, when repeated regularly, can help to challenge negative beliefs and reprogram your subconscious mind. But they need to resonate with you and feel at least somewhat believable to be effective. How to craft powerful affirmations. Make them positive and present tense. Focus on what you want to be, not what you don't want. Instead of, "I am not afraid," try, "I am courageous." Use, "I am," or "I choose to." Make them personal. Use "I" statements. Make them believable. This is crucial. If you currently feel completely inadequate, an affirmation like, "I am a wildly successful billionaire," might feel too far-fetched and trigger your inner critic to argue back. Start smaller and build up. If "I am confident" feels too big, try, "I am learning to trust myself more," or "I am capable of taking small steps." Focus on feelings, not just outcomes. Instead of "I will get a promotion," try, "I feel confident and worthy in my career." Focus on process, not perfection. "I'm enjoying the process of learning and growing," rather than "I am perfect at everything." Once you have your affirmations, the how of using them is key. Repetition. Say them aloud or silently to yourself several times a day. Consistency is more important than intensity. Feeling it. As you say your affirmation, try to feel the truth of it in your body. Don't just say the words. Embody the emotion. If you say, "I am strong," stand a little taller, take a deeper breath. Pair with action. Affirmations are not magic spells. They are tools to shift your mindset so you can take aligned action. If your affirmation is "I am brave," then look for small opportunities to be brave in your day. This reinforces the belief. Consider the science behind this. Our brains have something called the reticular activating system, RAS. In simple terms, the RAS is like a filter in your brain that helps you focus on what's important to you. If you consistently tell yourself you're not good enough, your RAS will filter for information and experiences that confirm that belief. But if you consistently tell yourself, "I am capable," or "I am growing," your RAS will start to notice opportunities, strengths, and successes that were always there, but previously filtered out. Moreover, consistent positive self-talk, challenging negative thoughts, and actively reframing can literally begin to rewire neural pathways in your brain over time. Just as repeated negative thoughts create deep ruts, repeated positive thoughts can carve new, healthier paths, making positive thinking more automatic and natural. This isn't about becoming a relentlessly positive robot. It's about becoming a kind, supportive inner ally. It's about building a solid foundation of belief in yourself, brick by consistent brick, through the powerful words you choose. You hold the power to change the narrative of your life, one thought at a time. Embrace this power and watch how your confidence begins to soar. Chapter 4. Action over apathy. The small steps that build. Big confidence. We often fall into the trap of believing that confidence is a feeling we must possess before we can act. When I feel confident, then I'll apply for that job. When I feel confident, then I'll start that difficult conversation. This is a common misconception that keeps many people stuck in a cycle of hesitation and inaction. The truth is often the reverse. Action creates confidence. It's a powerful feedback loop. When you take a step, however small, and see that you can do it, or that the world doesn't end, or that you learn something, your confidence grows. This increased confidence then makes you more willing to take the next step. This is the confidence action loop, and it's a fundamental principle for cultivating unshakable self-belief. Think about learning to ride a bike. Did you wait until you felt 100% confident you wouldn't fall before you got on? Unlikely. You probably got on, wobbled, maybe fell, got back up, tried again, and with each small improvement, your confidence grew until riding felt natural. The action came first, leading to the feeling of confidence. The same principle applies to almost anything in life. You don't need to feel completely confident to start. You just need to start to feel confident. One of the biggest hurdles to taking action is what's often called analysis paralysis. This is when you spend so much time overthinking, planning, and worrying about every possible outcome that you never actually start. The fear of failure, the need for perfection, or the overwhelming nature of a big goal can make you feel frozen. You might research endlessly, gather more information than you could ever use, or create elaborate plans that are never put into motion. The inner critic loves analysis paralysis, as it keeps you safe in your comfort zone, even if it's a zone of stagnation. It whispers, "You don't have enough information," or "It's not perfect yet," keeping you from moving forward. The antidote to analysis paralysis and the secret to building confidence through action is the power of baby steps. This is about breaking down any intimidating goal, however large, into incredibly small, manageable micro-actions. The goal is to make the first step so tiny, so easy, that you almost can't say no to it. It lowers the barrier to entry, reduces the perceived risk, and makes starting feel achievable rather than overwhelming. Let's say your goal is to write a book. The thought of writing 40,000 words can be paralyzing. A baby step wouldn't be write a chapter. It would be open the document, write one sentence, spend 5 minutes brainstorming ideas, read a page from a book about writing. See how small those are? They require minimal effort and time, yet they move you forward. The brilliance of baby steps is that once you complete that tiny action, you often gain momentum. That one sentence might turn into a paragraph, and that 5 minutes might stretch to 15. Even if it doesn't, you've still moved forward, and that small success builds a sliver of confidence. The same principle applies to expanding your comfort zone. Our comfort zone is a familiar space where we feel safe and secure. While it's good to have a comfort zone, true growth happens just outside its boundaries. Trying to jump straight from your comfort zone to a massive, scary new challenge is often counterproductive. It triggers intense fear and makes you retreat. Instead, gradually push your boundaries, step by step. If you're shy about speaking up in meetings, don't aim to deliver a keynote speech tomorrow. Instead, your baby steps might be: listen actively to what everyone is saying. Make eye contact with one person during the meeting. Nod in agreement with a point you like. Ask a clarifying question to someone else. Offer a very brief, concise opinion on a topic you feel strongly about. Each of these is a tiny stretch, a small expansion of your comfort zone. Each successful step, however minor, sends a powerful message to your brain. I did that. I survived. It wasn't so bad. This positive reinforcement reduces the fear associated with the next, slightly larger step. This is where the brain's own reward system comes into play. When you achieve a goal, even a small one, your brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. This dopamine rush reinforces the behavior, making you more likely to repeat it. It's like your brain saying, "Hey, that felt good, let's do that again." So, by taking baby steps and completing them, you're literally training your brain to seek out and enjoy action. This is the physiological basis of building momentum. Crucially, as you take these small steps, you must consciously acknowledge and celebrate tiny wins. This isn't about throwing a party for every little thing, but about pausing to recognize your progress. We often dismiss small achievements, thinking they don't count because they're not the big goal. But ignoring them is like trying to build a wall without noticing each brick you lay. Each brick is essential. How to celebrate tiny wins. Verbal recognition. Silently or aloud say, "Yes, I did it." Physical acknowledgement. Give yourself a mental high five, a small fist pump, or just a deep breath of satisfaction. Brief reflection. Take 30 seconds to think about what you just accomplished and how it felt. I actually started that document. That's a good first step. Share with a trusted friend. If appropriate, share your tiny win with someone who supports you. External validation, when not your primary source of worth, can also reinforce positive action. This consistent focus on small, achievable actions also leads to what Albert Bandura, a renowned psychologist, called mastery experiences. These are experiences where you successfully perform a task or overcome a challenge. Each mastery experience directly increases your sense of self-efficacy. your belief in your ability to succeed in specific situations. The more mastery experiences you accumulate, the stronger your general self-confidence becomes. You build a deep internal library of evidence that proves you are capable, you can learn, and you can achieve. So stop waiting for confidence to arrive like a magical visitor. Instead, go out and create it, one tiny, courageous step at a time. The path to unshakable confidence is paved with small actions, consistently taken. Every single step, no matter how insignificant it seems, is a powerful statement of self-belief. You are ready to start. Chapter 5. Building Competence, the foundation of I Can Do It. At the heart of genuine, lasting self-confidence lies competence. It's hard to feel truly confident about something if you don't believe you have the ability to do it well. Think of a seasoned chef who confidently whips up a gourmet meal. Their confidence isn't just a feeling, it's rooted in years of practice, learning techniques, understanding ingredients, and having a long history of successful dishes. They know deep down, I can do this, because they've done it, learned it, and mastered it. This chapter explores how to intentionally build competence, thereby strengthening your I can do it muscle and making your confidence soar. Competence isn't about being perfect or knowing everything. It's about having the necessary skills, knowledge, and experience to effectively handle a task, solve a problem, or navigate a situation. When you develop competence in various areas of your life, whether it's managing your finances, public speaking, learning a new language, or even just becoming better at organizing your home, your belief in your overall capabilities naturally expands. This isn't just about professional skills. Personal competencies like managing your emotions or communicating effectively are equally powerful confidence boosters. The first step in building competence is to identify areas where you want to grow. Where do you currently feel a lack of confidence? Is it in a specific skill related to your job, like giving presentations or coding? Is it a personal skill, like being a better listener or managing stress? Perhaps it's a completely new hobby you want to pick up, like playing an instrument or learning to paint. Don't overwhelm yourself by listing everything. Pick one or two areas where you feel a strong desire to improve and where gaining competence would significantly boost your self-belief. Remember, start small. Once you've identified your growth area, it's time to strategize for skill acquisition. This isn't just about trying harder, it's about learning smarter. Break it down. Just like with baby steps for action, break down the skill into its smallest components. If you want to learn to code, don't start by trying to build an app. Start with understanding basic concepts, then writing a single line of code, then a simple program. Each small piece mastered builds confidence for the next. Deliberate practice. This is key. It's not just about doing something repeatedly, but doing it with intention, focus, and a clear goal of improvement. If you're practicing a musical instrument, don't just play the whole song repeatedly. Isolate the challenging parts and practice just those sections slowly and carefully until they are perfect, then integrate them. If you're practicing public speaking, record yourself, watch it back, identify one thing to improve, and focus on that specific element in your next practice session. Seek constructive feedback. It can feel vulnerable to ask for feedback, but it's a goldmine for growth. Find someone you trust who has competence in the area you're working on, a mentor, a colleague, a friend. Ask them for specific, actionable feedback. Instead of, "How was my presentation?" ask, "What was one thing I did well and one thing I could improve on for next time regarding my delivery?" Or, "Could you watch me practice this specific part and tell me what you notice?" This shows you're committed to learning, not just seeking praise. Learn from resources. Read books, take online courses, watch tutorials, attend workshops. Immerse yourself in the subject. The more knowledge you acquire, the more tools you'll have in your competence toolbox. Embrace the learning curve. No one becomes an expert overnight. There will be frustrating moments, plateaus, and even steps backward. This is normal and expected. True competence comes from persistence through these challenges. This approach to learning embodies what psychologist Carol Dweck calls the growth mindset. In a fixed mindset, people believe their abilities are static and unchangeable. If they fail, they think, "I'm just not good at this." This thinking crushes confidence. In a growth mindset, however, people believe that their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. When they fail, they think, "What can I learn from this? How can I improve next time?" This mindset sees challenges as opportunities to learn and grow rather than fixed tests of inherent ability. Cultivating a growth mindset is incredibly empowering for building competence. It shifts your focus from proving yourself to improving yourself. It emphasizes effort and persistence over innate talent. Someone with a growth mindset understands that even highly skilled individuals weren't born that way. They put in countless hours of practice and learning. This perspective gives you permission to be a beginner, to make mistakes, and to continuously evolve. When you truly believe that you can get better at something, the motivation to put in the effort becomes much stronger, and your confidence grows with every step of that improvement. Finally, remember to focus on the process over perfection. In our results-driven world, it's easy to get fixated solely on the outcome. But when building competence, the journey is just as, if not more, important than the destination. Celebrate the effort, the consistency, and the small improvements you make along the way. If you're learning a new language, celebrate that you practiced for 15 minutes, not just that you can now converse fluently. If you're trying a new exercise routine, celebrate that you showed up, not just that you ran a certain distance. This consistent appreciation of the process fuels your motivation and reinforces your belief in your ability to keep going. The science behind this is fascinating. Our brains are incredibly adaptable organs. This adaptability is called neuroplasticity. It means that your brain is constantly changing and forming new connections in response to your experiences, learning, and practice. When you learn a new skill, your brain actually rewires itself, strengthening the neural pathways associated with that skill. This is why consistent, deliberate practice makes things feel easier and more automatic over time. It's concrete proof that your intelligence and abilities are not fixed. They are dynamic and can be developed throughout your entire life. Every time you dedicate yourself to learning and practicing something new, you are literally sculpting a more capable, more confident brain. So choose an area to grow, break it down, practice deliberately, seek feedback, embrace the learning curve, and celebrate the process. As you see yourself becoming more capable, more skilled, and more effective, your "I can do it" confidence will become a deep, unwavering part of who you are. This commitment to continuous learning and growth is a hallmark of an unshakable sense of self. Chapter 6. Your body, your mind, your worth, the wellness connection. True self-confidence and a deep sense of self-worth aren't just about what you think or how you act. They are profoundly intertwined with how you feel, and how you feel is intricately linked to your physical well-being. Imagine trying to build a magnificent skyscraper, your unshakable inner strength, on a shaky, crumbling foundation. It simply won't stand strong for long. Your body is that foundation. Your physical health directly impacts your mental and emotional state, influencing your energy levels, your mood, your ability to focus, and your resilience in the face of stress. You simply cannot cultivate an unshakable inner fortress if your physical self is consistently struggling or neglected. This chapter isn't about striving for peak athletic performance or a supermodel physique. It's about understanding the fundamental connection between your body, your mind, and your inherent worth, and then taking simple, actionable steps to nurture your physical self as an act of profound self-care. Let's start with the silent hero of your well-being: sleep. It's easy to dismiss sleep as just downtime or something to cut back on when life gets busy. But sleep is a non-negotiable biological necessity, not a luxury. During sleep, your brain is far from idle. It's incredibly active, consolidating memories, processing emotions, and clearing out waste products. When you consistently deprive yourself of quality sleep, the consequences are far-reaching. You become more irritable, your concentration falters, your decision-making abilities decline, and your emotional resilience takes a hit. Research has repeatedly shown that chronic sleep deprivation can heighten feelings of anxiety and depression, making it harder to manage stress and sustain a positive outlook. A study published in the journal Sleep found that even partial sleep deprivation can significantly impair mood and cognitive function. When you're exhausted, that inner critic from Chapter 2 can sound much louder, and your capacity to engage in positive self-talk or take confident action diminishes. So, how do you invite more restorative sleep into your life? Prioritize it. Treat sleep like an important appointment you wouldn't miss. Stick to a schedule. Go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's natural sleep-wake cycle, known as your circadian rhythm. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. An hour before bed, start winding down. This could involve reading a physical book, taking a warm bath, listening to calming music, or doing some gentle stretching. Optimize your sleep environment. Make your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. Block out light with blackout curtains, use earplugs if needed, and set your thermostat to a comfortable temperature, typically cooler than your daytime setting. Limit screens. The blue light emitted from phones, tablets, and computers can interfere with melatonin production, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. Try to put screens away at least an hour before bed. Watch what you consume. Avoid caffeine and heavy meals close to bedtime. Alcohol might make you feel drowsy initially, but it often disrupts sleep later in the night. Even small improvements in your sleep habits can have a profound ripple effect on your mood, energy, and overall ability to show up confidently in your day. When you wake up feeling refreshed, you are more equipped to face challenges and engage positively with the world. Next, let's turn to what you put into your body. Nutrition. Food is more than just fuel. It's information for your cells, directly influencing your energy levels, brain chemistry, and overall mood. Think about the feeling after eating a heavy, greasy meal versus a light, nutritious one. Your energy and focus are vastly different. While we don't need to delve into complex dietary science, understanding a few basic principles can make a huge difference. Highly processed foods, sugary snacks, and excessive caffeine can lead to energy spikes followed by crashes, leaving you feeling sluggish, irritable, and less resilient. This instability makes it harder to maintain a calm, confident demeanor. There's growing research into the fascinating gut-brain axis, which highlights the direct communication pathway between your digestive system and your brain. The bacteria in your gut produce various neurochemicals, including a significant amount of serotonin, often called the feel-good neurotransmitter. A healthy gut microbiome can positively influence mood, while an imbalanced one can contribute to feelings of anxiety and depression. So nourishing your gut isn't just good for your digestion, it's good for your mental well-being and, by extension, your self-worth. Simple dietary adjustments to empower your mind and body. Focus on whole foods, prioritize fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats. These provide sustained energy and essential nutrients that support brain function. Stay hydrated. Water is essential for every bodily function, including brain function. Even mild dehydration can lead to fatigue, reduced concentration, and irritability. Carry a water bottle and sip throughout the day. Mindful eating. Pay attention to what you eat, when you eat, and how you feel afterward. This helps you identify which foods make you feel energized and which ones drag you down. Reduce processed foods and sugar. These can cause blood sugar roller coasters that negatively impact your mood and energy. Remember, this isn't about restrictive diets. It's about making conscious choices that support your well-being. Nourishing your body with good food is an act of self-respect, a tangible demonstration of your belief that you are worthy of care. Now let's get moving. Physical activity is a powerful antidepressant, stress reducer, and confidence builder. When you move your body, even just for a few minutes, incredible things happen. Your brain releases endorphins, natural mood elevators that create feelings of euphoria and reduce pain. Regular physical activity also helps regulate stress hormones like cortisol, reducing chronic stress and its negative impact on your physical and mental health. Beyond the chemical benefits, movement gives you a profound sense of accomplishment and competence. When you complete a workout, walk or stretch, you prove to yourself that you are capable, disciplined, and strong. This direct experience of capability feeds into your self-confidence, reinforcing the "I can do it" belief. The beautiful truth is, you don't need to join a gym or train for a marathon to reap the benefits. Any movement counts. Start small, be consistent. A 10-minute walk during your lunch break, dancing to your favorite song, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or doing some gentle stretches in the morning are all valid forms of movement. Consistency trumps intensity. Find what you enjoy. If you hate running, don't run. Explore different activities like cycling, swimming, hiking, yoga, team sports, or even active chores around the house. When you enjoy it, you're more likely to stick with it. Incorporate movement into your day. Break up long periods of sitting with short movement breaks. Set a timer to stand up and stretch every hour. Focus on how it feels. Pay attention to the boost in energy, the reduction in stress, and the sense of accomplishment after you move. Let these positive feelings motivate you. Moving your body is a way of honoring it, of investing in your strength and vitality. It's a powerful statement of self-worth that reverberates through your mind and spirit. Finally, we come to mindfulness and stress reduction. In our fast-paced world, stress is an inevitable part of life. But chronic stress can chip away at your sense of peace, clarity, and worth. It can make you feel overwhelmed, anxious, and disconnected from yourself. Mindfulness is simply the practice of being present and fully aware of the current moment, without judgment. It's not about emptying your mind, but about observing your thoughts and feelings as they arise, rather than being swept away by them. This practice helps you create a healthy distance from your inner critic and develop a more stable emotional landscape. Simple mindfulness and stress reduction techniques. Deep breathing. This is your most immediate tool for calming your nervous system. When you feel stressed, pause and take several slow, deep breaths, inhaling through your nose, letting your belly rise, and exhaling slowly through your mouth. This simple act activates your parasympathetic nervous system, signaling to your body that it's safe to relax. The 5-minute meditation. Find a quiet spot. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Simply notice your breath without trying to change it. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Even 5 minutes a day can make a significant difference in your ability to manage stress and stay present. Mindful moments. Integrate mindfulness into everyday activities. When you're drinking your coffee, truly taste it. When you're walking, notice the sensation of your feet on the ground and the sounds around you. When you're talking to someone, give them your full, undivided attention. Journaling, putting your thoughts and feelings on paper, can be a powerful way to process them, gain perspective, and reduce their emotional charge. Nature connection. Spending time outdoors, even just in a local park, has been shown to reduce stress, improve mood, and enhance feelings of well-being. By actively managing your stress and cultivating mindfulness, you build an inner sanctuary of calm and clarity. This inner peace is a cornerstone of unshakable self-worth, allowing you to respond to life with intention rather than simply reacting to its demands. When you feel centered and present, you are better able to access your innate confidence and recognize your inherent value. Nurturing your body through sleep, nutrition, movement, and stress reduction isn't a chore. It's a profound act of love and respect for yourself. It is recognizing that you are worthy of care and that investment ripples out, strengthening every other aspect of your unshakable self. Chapter 7. The Comparison Trap. Staying in your own lane. In our interconnected world, with a constant stream of curated images and highlight reels flashing before our eyes, it's incredibly easy to fall into the comparison trap. This is the insidious habit of measuring your own life, your achievements, your appearance, or your circumstances against those of others. Perhaps you scroll through social media and see perfectly posed families on exotic vacations, dazzling career successes, or seemingly effortless achievements. Or maybe it's closer to home. A colleague gets a promotion you wanted, a friend achieves a personal goal you've been struggling with, or a family member seems to have everything effortlessly falling into place. In these moments, it's natural for the inner critic to pipe up, whispering, "You're not doing enough, you're behind," or "Why can't you be more like them?" This chapter is about understanding why comparison is so damaging, and more importantly, how to break free and stay firmly in your own unique, magnificent lane. The pervasive nature of comparison is amplified by modern technology, especially social media. Before the digital age, your circle of comparison was likely limited to your immediate community or people you knew personally. Now, with a few taps, you can scroll through the lives of hundreds, even thousands of people across the globe. The problem isn't the platforms themselves, but how we use them and how our brains interpret the information presented. What you see online is almost always a highlight reel. It's the carefully selected, filtered, and often perfected version of someone's life. It's the celebratory post about a promotion, not the countless hours of stress and hard work that led to it. It's the smiling vacation photo, not the argument that happened 5 minutes before. It's the perfectly baked sourdough, not the dozen failed attempts that came before. We are constantly comparing our messy, unfiltered, behind-the-scenes reality to everyone else's polished front-stage performance. This imbalance makes comparison a destructive force. Why does it steal your joy and undermine your self-worth? It fosters inadequacy. When you compare your weaknesses to someone else's strengths, you inevitably feel like you're falling short. This fuels feelings of not enough, eroding your self-worth. It creates unrealistic expectations. If everyone else seems perfect and successful, you start to believe that you also need to be perfect to be worthy. This sets you up for constant disappointment. It diverts your energy. Energy spent comparing yourself to others is energy not spent on improving yourself, appreciating your own journey, or pursuing your unique goals. It's a massive drain on your mental and emotional resources. It ignores your unique path. Every single person has a unique journey with different starting points, different challenges, different talents, and different timelines. To compare your Chapter 3 to someone else's Chapter 10 is illogical and unfair to yourself. It breeds resentment, both towards yourself for not being better, and sometimes towards others for having what you perceive you lack. The human tendency to compare ourselves to others has deep roots. From an evolutionary perspective, social comparison was a way for our ancestors to gauge their standing within a group, ensuring survival and cooperation. We have an innate need to evaluate ourselves against others, to understand our abilities and status. However, in our modern world, this instinct often backfires. When we engage in upward social comparison, comparing ourselves to those we perceive as better or more successful, it frequently leads to negative emotions like envy, jealousy, and significantly lower self-esteem. It can make you feel diminished, regardless of your actual achievements. So how do we break free from this insidious trap and stay anchored in our own lane? Mindful social media use. This is a crucial first step. Curate your feed. Unfollow accounts that consistently make you feel bad about yourself, even if they're popular. Follow accounts that inspire you, teach you, or genuinely bring you joy. Set time limits. Use apps or phone settings to limit your daily scroll time. Be intentional about why you're opening social media, e.g. to connect with a specific person, to get information, rather than mindless scrolling. Digital detoxes. Try taking breaks from social media for a day, a weekend, or even longer. Notice how your mood shifts when you're not exposed to constant comparison. Become the observer. When you do scroll, notice the feeling of comparison rising. Acknowledge it. There's that comparison thought again, and remind yourself of the highlight reel effect. Focus solely on your own progress. This is perhaps the most powerful counter-strategy. The only person you should ever compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Are you a little kinder today? A little more disciplined? Did you learn something new? Did you take a small step forward on your own goals? When your focus shifts internally to your own growth and development, the external achievements of others lose their power to diminish you. Keep a journal of your small wins, your learning, your personal milestones. When you see your own consistent progress, it builds a deep intrinsic sense of achievement and confidence that comparison cannot shake. Practice genuine gratitude for your own life and strengths. Comparison thrives on focusing on what you lack or what others have. Gratitude shifts your focus to what you do have, what you have accomplished, and what unique strengths you possess. Make it a daily practice to list things you are genuinely grateful for in your life, even the simple things. Appreciate your unique experiences, your journey, your health, your relationships, your home, your talents. When you appreciate your own abundance, the desire to compare lessens significantly. You realize that your life, with all its imperfections, is still incredibly rich and full. Recognize and celebrate your unique gifts and path. You are a unique individual. There is no one else exactly like you, with your specific combination of experiences, talents, perspectives, and dreams. Trying to be someone else is not only exhausting, it's a disservice to your authentic self. Embrace what makes you different. What are your quirks? What are your unique talents, however small or unusual? What insights do you bring to the world? When you celebrate your authenticity, you affirm your own worth. Your path might not look like anyone else's, and that's precisely where its beauty and power lie. Turn envy into inspiration, carefully. While envy is generally destructive, sometimes a feeling of jealousy can be a signpost. If you envy someone's achievement, ask yourself, what is it specifically about this that I admire? Is it the outcome, or the effort, skill, or discipline that went into it? Can you use that as a spark of inspiration to pursue a similar type of goal, or develop a similar quality in your own life, without wishing you were them? This requires conscious effort, but it's a way to reclaim power from a negative emotion. Breaking the comparison trap takes consistent effort, especially in a world that constantly encourages it. But it is one of the most liberating acts you can undertake for your self-confidence and self-worth. When you stop looking sideways and start looking forward on your own path, you unlock an immense amount of energy and joy. Your journey is yours alone, and it is extraordinary precisely because it is unique to you. Embrace your lane and run your race with focus, determination, and unshakable belief in your own magnificent pace. Chapter 8. The Art of Saying No. Setting Healthy Boundaries. Have you ever found yourself nodding yes when every fiber of your being wanted to scream no? Perhaps you agreed to an extra project at work when your plate was already overflowing, or committed to a social engagement you dreaded simply because you couldn't bring yourself to decline. The feeling of being overwhelmed, resentful, or stretched too thin is often a direct result of a lack of healthy boundaries. This chapter is about mastering the crucial art of saying no, not as an act of selfishness, but as a profound act of self-respect, a foundational pillar for building and maintaining unshakable self-confidence and self-worth. The idea that no is a complete sentence might sound simple, but for many, it feels like an impossible feat. We often associate saying no with being rude, unhelpful, or letting others down. We fear rejection, disapproval, or being seen as difficult. This fear drives us into the trap of people-pleasing, where our decisions are dictated by the desire to avoid discomfort in others, even at the expense of our own well-being. But here's the truth. Saying no to something that drains you, disrespects your time, or goes against your values is saying yes to yourself, to your priorities, and to your mental and emotional health. It is an affirmation of your inherent value and a clear signal that your needs matter. Before you can say no effectively, you need to understand your own limits. What are your physical, emotional, and time boundaries? Physical limits. How much sleep do you need? How much physical activity can your body handle before it's exhausted? What foods make you feel good or bad? Emotional limits. What conversations or interactions drain your emotional energy? What types of situations make you feel overwhelmed or anxious? What are your emotional triggers? Time limits. How much free time do you truly need to recharge? How many commitments can you realistically juggle without feeling overwhelmed? What are your top priorities for your time? What truly drains you versus what genuinely energizes you? What is genuinely important to you versus what feels like an obligation? Take some time to reflect on these questions. You can't protect your boundaries if you don't know where they are. Why do we struggle so much to say no? It often comes down to deeply ingrained patterns. Fear of disappointing others. We hate the thought of letting someone down, especially people we care about or respect. Guilt. We feel guilty saying no as if we're being ungenerous or selfish. This guilt is often a learned response from childhood messages or societal expectations. People-pleasing. This habit, driven by a desire for approval or a fear of conflict, leads us to prioritize others' needs above our own. It's often a manifestation of low self-worth, where we believe our value comes from being constantly helpful or agreeable. Fear of rejection or conflict. We worry that saying no will damage a relationship, lead to an argument, or make us unpopular. This fear is especially potent in professional settings where we might worry about job security or career progression. Belief that our needs don't matter. If you've grown up consistently putting others first, you might genuinely believe that your needs are less important than everyone else's. This constant pattern of people-pleasing and inability to set boundaries often leads to enmeshment in relationships, a psychological term where individual boundaries are diffuse or lacking, leading to a blurring of identities. When you are enmeshed, your sense of self-worth becomes overly dependent on others' opinions and needs, rather than stemming from your own inherent value. Cultivating autonomy, your sense of being in control of your own life and choices, is crucial for well-being, and boundaries are its cornerstone. So, how do you learn to say no gracefully but firmly? It's a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. Start small, just like with building competence. Practical ways to say no gracefully. Be direct and clear. Avoid vague excuses or over-explaining, which can invite negotiation. A simple, honest no is often the most effective. Instead of, "Well, I guess I could, but I'm really super busy and I don't know if I'll have time," maybe try, "I appreciate you asking, but I can't take that on right now." Or, "Thank you for the invitation, but I won't be able to make it." Use I statements. This helps you own your decision without blaming the other person. "I'm unable to help with that project. I need to prioritize some other commitments right now. I'm not available at that time." Buy yourself time. If you're caught off guard, don't feel pressured to respond immediately. "Let me check my calendar, capacity, and get back to you. I need a moment to think about that." This gives you space to evaluate if the request truly aligns with your boundaries and priorities. Offer alternatives, optional. If you genuinely want to be helpful, but can't fulfill the specific request, you can offer an alternative, but remember, this is not always necessary. "I can't lead that project, but I could help with X task if that's useful." "I can't make it to dinner on Saturday, but I'd love to catch up over coffee next week." Set boundaries in different areas. At work. "My current workload is full, so I can't take on another project without discussing reprioritization." "I'm not available to work after 6 p.m. In relationships, "I love spending time with you, but I need some alone time to recharge this weekend. I don't discuss my financial situation with others. I can't lend money right now." With personal time, "I'm protecting this time for myself, my family. I'm not checking emails after hours." Digital boundaries. "I'm not responding to texts after 9 p.m. unless it's an emergency." "I'm taking a social media break for the day." Remember, when you set a boundary, you are not rejecting the person. You are protecting your own energy, time, and well-being. People who genuinely respect you will understand and respect your boundaries. Those who push back or try to guilt-trip you might be testing your limits, and it's even more important to stand firm in those instances. This doesn't mean you'll never feel a twinge of guilt or discomfort, especially at first. That's normal. But with each boundary you successfully set, you reinforce to yourself that your needs are valid, that your time is valuable, and that you are worthy of respect. The benefit of setting healthy boundaries goes far beyond just managing your schedule. It significantly reduces stress and prevents burnout by preventing you from overextending yourself. It clarifies your priorities, strengthens your sense of self, and builds confidence in your decision-making. When you live within your boundaries, you have more energy, more clarity, and more capacity to say a genuine yes to the things that truly matter to you. This is an empowering act of self-worth that will fundamentally change how you interact with the world and how you feel about yourself. Your worth is not determined by your endless availability or your capacity to please. It is inherent, and saying no is one of the clearest ways to honor that truth. Chapter 9. Embracing Imperfection. Self-compassion in action. Have you ever felt caught in a relentless cycle of self-criticism? That voice that tells you every mistake is a major flaw, every imperfection a sign of your inadequacy. This constant striving for perfection, this feeling that you must be flawless to be worthy, is a common trap. While having high standards can be motivating, the relentless pursuit of perfection often leads to anxiety, burnout, procrastination, and deep feelings of shame when we inevitably fall short. It's like trying to run a marathon with invisible weights tied to your ankles, exhausting and ultimately limiting. Perfectionism, ironically, is a huge barrier to unshakable self-confidence and self-worth because it conditions your value on an unattainable ideal, leaving you feeling constantly not enough. This chapter is about learning to embrace your imperfections, not as flaws to be hidden, but as integral parts of your human experience through the revolutionary practice of self-compassion. What exactly is self-compassion? It's not self-pity, self-indulgence, or letting yourself off the hook. It's also not about toxic positivity, pretending everything is wonderful when it's clearly not. Instead, as defined by researcher Dr. Kristin Neff, self-compassion is about treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and support you would naturally offer to a good friend who is struggling or making a mistake. Imagine your best friend comes to you feeling utterly devastated because they made a mistake at work. Would you berate them, tell them they're stupid, or tell them they should have known better? Of course not. You would likely offer comfort, validation, a listening ear, and a reminder of their strengths. Self-compassion is simply extending that same wisdom and kindness to yourself. Dr. Neff outlines 3 core components of self-compassion: self-kindness versus self-judgment. Instead of harsh self-criticism when you make a mistake or feel inadequate, you respond to yourself with warmth and understanding. It's a shift from, "I'm so stupid for doing that," to, "This is a challenging moment and I'm struggling. It's okay to feel this way." You speak to yourself gently as you would a loved one. Common humanity versus isolation. When we suffer or feel imperfect, our inner critic often tells us we're alone in our struggle, that everyone else has it together. Common humanity is the recognition that suffering, imperfection, and failure are universal parts of the human experience. Everyone makes mistakes, everyone experiences pain, and everyone has flaws. You are not alone in your struggles. They connect you to all of humanity. This shifts the internal narrative from "something is wrong with me" to "this is a common human experience." Mindfulness versus over-identification. Mindfulness in self-compassion means observing your thoughts and feelings about your pain or imperfection without getting swept away by them or suppressing them. It's acknowledging, "I'm feeling sad right now," or "I'm having a thought that I'm not good enough," rather than becoming lost in the sadness or believing the thought as ultimate truth. You observe your difficult emotions and thoughts with a sense of curious awareness, neither ignoring them nor wallowing in them. This understanding is powerful because the physiological impact of self-criticism versus self-compassion is profound. When you engage in harsh self-criticism, your body activates the threat response, releasing stress hormones like cortisol. This puts your body in a state of fight, flight, or freeze, leading to anxiety, defensiveness, and often paralysis. It's like being under constant attack. Conversely, when you practice self-compassion, your body activates the self-soothing system. This releases hormones like oxytocin, which promotes feelings of safety, connection, and calm. It allows you to approach your struggles with clarity and resilience, rather than being overwhelmed by stress. So how do you put self-compassion into action? Here are some simple, practical exercises. The self-compassion break. This is a fantastic, quick exercise you can use whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or inadequate. Step 1. Acknowledge the suffering, mindfulness. Notice what you're feeling. This is a moment of suffering, or "I'm feeling inadequate right now." Use gentle language. Step 2. Recognize common humanity. Remind yourself that suffering is part of being human. Suffering is a part of life, or "everyone feels this way sometimes." Step 3. Offer self-kindness. Place your hand over your heart or on your cheek. Think of a phrase that offers yourself comfort and understanding. May I be kind to myself? May I give myself the compassion I need? It's okay to not be okay. You can even imagine what a kind, wise friend would say to you. This simple physical gesture combined with kind words helps activate that self-soothing system. Kind self-talk. Actively challenge your inner critic by replacing its harsh words with compassionate ones. When you hear that negative voice, pause. Imagine a supportive friend or mentor. What would they say instead of, "You completely blew that, you're such a failure"? Try, "That was challenging and I made a mistake. It's okay. What can I learn from this? I'm doing my best." Instead of, "I'm so fat, ugly, unattractive." Try, "My body carries me through life and it deserves kindness and care. I am more than my appearance." Soothing touch. Physical touch releases oxytocin and has a calming effect. When you're feeling distressed, overwhelmed, or even just tired, try placing both hands over your heart, gently stroking your arm, cupping your face in your hands, holding your own hand. Combine this with a kind phrase or a moment of gentle breathing. Learning from mistakes with self-compassion. Mistakes are not evidence of your inadequacy. They are opportunities for growth. When you make an error, acknowledge the mistake without judgment. "Okay, I made a mistake here." Explore what happened. What led to this? What factors were involved? Identify the lesson. What can I do differently next time? What new information did I gain? Forgive yourself. Understand that you did the best you could with the information and resources you had at the time. Holding on to self-blame only creates stagnation. Forgiveness is a powerful act of self-worth that allows you to move forward. Embracing imperfection through self-compassion is not about letting yourself off the hook or abandoning accountability. In fact, studies show that self-compassion is more strongly linked to motivation and personal responsibility than self-criticism. When you're kind to yourself, you're less afraid of failure, more willing to try new things, and more resilient when you stumble. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy of love and respect. You are inherently worthy, flaws and all. Practicing self-compassion is how you cultivate that profound, unshakable truth within yourself, allowing you to show up authentically, courageously, and with immense kindness towards the most important person in your life, yourself. Chapter 10. Resilience through challenges. Bouncing back, stronger. Life is an unpredictable journey filled with unexpected turns, moments of triumph, and inevitably challenges, setbacks, and even failures. No amount of self-confidence or self-worth can make you immune to these experiences. The belief that a confident person never fails or never faces difficulty is a dangerous myth that sets us up for disappointment. True, unshakable self-confidence isn't about avoiding life's inevitable bumps. It's about how you respond to them. It's about your capacity for resilience, your ability to bounce back, adapt, and even grow stronger in the face of adversity. This chapter is dedicated to understanding that process and equipping you with practical strategies to navigate setbacks, learn from them, and emerge with a deeper, more robust sense of self-worth. Think about a strong tree. It doesn't avoid the wind and rain. It learns to bend, its roots grow deeper, and it becomes stronger through enduring the storms. You are much the same. Every challenge you face, every setback you overcome, is an opportunity to strengthen your inner resilience muscle. When you experience a difficult situation, your body's natural stress response kicks in, the primal fight, flight, or freeze mechanism. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, and your focus narrows. While this is helpful in immediate danger, prolonged activation due to everyday stressors can be draining. Learning to manage this response and engage your calm, reasoning mind is crucial for resilience. Here are powerful strategies for bouncing back stronger, reframing your perspective. From why me to what can I learn? When something goes wrong, our initial reaction is often to feel like a victim or to catastrophize. Why does this always happen to me? Or, this is the end of everything. This mindset traps you in negativity. Resilience involves intentionally shifting your perspective. Instead of dwelling on the injustice or the pain, ask yourself, what is the lesson here? What opportunity might this challenge present? How can I grow from this experience? What alternative ways can I look at this situation? For example, if you get turned down for a job, instead of "I'm a failure," reframe it to "This wasn't the right fit, but I gained interview experience, and now I have a clearer idea of what I'm looking for." This doesn't deny the disappointment, but it redirects your energy towards learning and future possibilities. It transforms a perceived weakness into a potential strength. Engage in practical problem-solving skills. Emotional distress can make problems seem insurmountable. Resilience often involves breaking down overwhelming challenges into smaller, manageable steps. Define the problem. Clearly, what exactly went wrong? Be specific. Brainstorm solutions. Write down every possible solution, no matter how wild or small. Don't judge them yet. Evaluate options. Consider the pros and cons of each solution. Take action. Choose one small step you can take right now to move forward. This aligns perfectly with the action over apathy principle from Chapter 4. Taking action, however minor, immediately gives you a sense of control and competence, pulling you out of helplessness. The importance of seeking support. One of the most courageous acts you can make when facing a challenge is to reach out for help. There's a common misconception that strong, confident people handle everything on their own. This is false. True strength lies in recognizing when you need support and having the courage to ask for it. Lean on your trusted network, friends, family, mentors, colleagues, or even a professional therapist or coach. Sharing your struggles lightens your burden, provides new perspectives, and reminds you that you are not alone. Research shows that strong social connections are a significant predictor of resilience and overall well-being. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. It is a profound act of self-worth to acknowledge your limitations and allow others to be there for you. Learning from setbacks without dwelling on failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone on the path to it. Every successful person has a long list of failures and rejections behind them. The difference is how they approach those setbacks. They didn't let them define their self-worth. Instead, they extracted the lessons and moved on. Conduct a post-mortem without self-blame. After a setback, reflect on what happened. What could have been done differently? What did you learn about yourself, the situation, or others? Separate outcome from self-worth. Remind yourself that a single failure, or multiple failures, does not diminish your inherent worth as a person. You are worthy, regardless of external results. Release and move on. Once you've learned the lesson, consciously choose to let go of the emotional baggage of the setback. Dwelling on it only keeps you stuck. Prioritize self-care. During adversity, when challenges hit, it's easy to abandon the very practices that help you stay grounded. But this is precisely when your self-care habits from Chapter 6 become most vital. Maintain sleep. Even if worried, try to stick to your sleep routine. Rest is crucial for mental clarity. Nourish your body. Avoid comfort eating unhealthy foods. Fuel your body with nutritious meals to maintain energy and mood. Keep moving. Physical activity is a powerful stress reliever. Even a short walk can clear your head and release tension. Practice mindfulness. Use deep breathing or short meditations to manage anxiety and stay present. These practices prevent you from spiraling downwards and provide you with the energy needed to tackle the challenge. The concept of post-traumatic growth is deeply relevant here. While this term is often used for major life traumas, its principles apply to everyday challenges as well. It suggests that individuals can experience positive psychological changes following significant life struggles. These changes can include a deeper appreciation for life, stronger relationships, a clearer sense of purpose, increased personal strength, and a shift in priorities. When you actively engage with your challenges rather than avoiding them, you open yourself up to these profound opportunities for growth. You learn what you're truly made of, and that knowledge is an unparalleled source of unshakable confidence. Embracing vulnerability, admitting when things are tough and reaching out for support are not signs of weakness. They are profound indicators of strength and self-awareness. True resilience isn't about never falling. It's about having the inner strength, the tools, and the self-compassion to get back up, dust yourself off, and continue forward, wiser and more confident than before. You possess an incredible capacity to navigate whatever comes your way. Believe in your ability to bounce back, for that is where your unshakable strength truly lies. Chapter 11. Finding your true north. Values, purpose, and authenticity. Imagine trying to navigate a vast ocean without a compass or a map. You might drift aimlessly, chasing every passing current, or feeling lost even when you're moving. Many people navigate their lives this way, feeling a persistent unease, a sense of not quite belonging, or a constant striving for external validation. This often happens when we are disconnected from our inner compass, our core values, and a clear sense of purpose. A truly unshakable sense of self-worth doesn't just come from what you do. It comes from living in alignment with who you truly are and what matters most to you. This chapter is about helping you find your true north, identifying the deeply held beliefs that guide your choices, discovering your unique purpose, and embracing the immense power of authenticity. When you live a life that genuinely reflects your inner truth, your self-worth ceases to be conditional and becomes an unwavering force. Living in alignment means that your actions, your choices, and your daily life are consistent with your deepest values and what you believe is truly meaningful. When there's a mismatch between your values and your actions, for example, if you deeply value creativity but spend all your time in a soul-crushing, uncreative job, it creates an inner conflict, a subtle unease that chips away at your sense of peace and worth. But when your life reflects your values, you experience an inner harmony, a feeling of rightness that strengthens your self-worth from the inside out. This isn't about grand gestures, it's about the small, consistent choices that add up to a life lived with integrity. So how do you identify your core values? These are not arbitrary preferences. They are the fundamental beliefs that guide your decisions, shape your character, and define what is truly important to you in life. They are often unconscious, but bringing them to the surface allows you to make conscious choices that honor them. Here's a simple process to discover your core values. Brainstorm. A broad list. Start by listing words that resonate with you, even if you're not sure why. Think about qualities you admire in others, what makes you feel alive, what upsets you, or what you would fight for. Examples might include integrity, creativity, community, adventure, compassion, honesty, freedom, security, growth, family, contribution, health, learning, courage, fun, simplicity, authenticity, wisdom, justice, peace, loyalty, respect, innovation, dedication. Just free associate and write down anything that comes to mind. Group and consolidate. Look for themes or synonyms. Perhaps loyalty and trustworthiness can be grouped under integrity, or friendship and belonging under community. Prioritize your top 5 to 7. This is the harder part. From your consolidated list, force yourself to narrow it down to the 5 to 7 values that are absolutely non-negotiable for you. Imagine you could only live by 5 principles for the rest of your life. Which would they be? This step requires reflection and honesty. Ask yourself, if I had to give up one of these, which would it be? The ones you can't imagine living without are your core values. Define them for yourself. Once you have your top values, write a short sentence or two explaining what each value means to you. Freedom for one person might mean financial independence. For another, it might mean the ability to travel. And for a third, it might mean intellectual liberty. Defining your values in your own terms makes them more actionable. Once identified, these values act like an internal compass for decision-making. Imagine a fork in the road. One path promises quick financial gain but requires you to compromise your integrity. Another path offers slower growth but allows you to operate with complete honesty. If integrity is a core value, the choice becomes clear, reducing inner conflict and strengthening your sense of self. This deliberate choice aligned with your truth reinforces your worthiness because you are honoring yourself. Next, let's connect values to purpose. Often, when people hear purpose, they envision a grand, sweeping mission, curing cancer, becoming a world leader, or creating a global movement. While purpose can indeed be monumental, it doesn't have to be. Your purpose can be found in the daily acts of living, in your contributions, and in how you embody your values. It's about why you do what you do. For example, if compassion is a core value, your purpose might manifest as volunteering at a local shelter, being a kind and empathetic listener to your friends, or choosing a career in healthcare. If creativity is a core value, your purpose might be to bring beauty into the world through painting, to solve problems innovatively at work, or to express yourself through writing. Purpose is less about what you achieve and more about how you show up and why you do what you do. It's the unique imprint you leave on the world, guided by your values. Connecting to your purpose gives your life direction and meaning is a profound booster of self-worth. Studies in positive psychology consistently demonstrate that individuals with a strong sense of purpose report higher levels of well-being, reduced anxiety, and greater resilience when facing adversity. This sense of meaning acts as a buffer against life's stresses, allowing you to anchor your worth in something deeper than fleeting accomplishments. This brings us to the immense power of authenticity. Authenticity is simply being your true self, expressing your genuine thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, rather than trying to fit into others' expectations or put on a facade. It's about letting go of the need to be perfect or to please everyone. When you are authentic, you are telling yourself, "I am enough just as I am." This is where true self-worth blossoms. Why is authenticity so powerful? Reduces exhaustion. Maintaining a facade is incredibly draining. Constantly trying to be someone you're not, or saying things you don't believe, consumes vast amounts of energy that could be used for genuine growth and joy. Fosters genuine connection. People are drawn to authenticity. When you are real, you create space for others to be real with you, leading to deeper, more meaningful relationships. Pretending to be someone else attracts people who like the mask, not the true you, which leaves you feeling lonely and misunderstood. Strengthens self-trust. Every time you act in alignment with your authentic self, you reinforce self-trust. You prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you stand for something, and that you are courageous enough to be yourself. This directly builds self-confidence, alleviates shame. Much of our shame stems from the belief that if others knew our true selves, our imperfections, our struggles, our genuine thoughts, they would reject us. Authenticity is the antidote to shame. When you show up as your real self, you learn that you are lovable and worthy, exactly as you are, which is the ultimate foundation of self-worth. Embracing authenticity also means embracing vulnerability. This concept was explored in Chapter 10 in the context of seeking support, but here it extends to simply being seen as your true self, flaws and all. It means sharing your ideas, even if they might be criticized. It means admitting when you don't know something. It means letting others see your imperfections. This can feel terrifying at first because it involves risking rejection. However, true confidence is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. And the more you practice authentic vulnerability, the more you realize that the world rarely crumbles, and often you are met with understanding and connection. This courageous act of being yourself validates your worth from within. Finally, integrating your values and purpose into your daily decision-making transforms how you navigate life. Instead of being swayed by external pressures or momentary desires, you have a compass. For any decision, big or small, ask yourself, does this choice align with my top values? Does this action move me closer to how I want to live my purpose? If the answer is a resounding yes, you move forward with clarity and inner peace, reinforcing your self-worth. If the answer is no, you have a powerful reason to reconsider or decline without guilt or regret. This reduces inner conflict and strengthens your internal locus of control. You become the conscious architect of your life, not just a passenger. Finding your true north, identifying your values, connecting to your purpose, and living authentically is not a destination you reach and then stop. It's a lifelong process of exploration and refinement. But with each step you take in alignment with your inner truth, you build a deeper, more profound, and truly unshakable sense of who you are and the magnificent worth you possess. This journey is about stripping away what you are not, to reveal the powerful, authentic person you were always meant to be. Step into your truth and watch your confidence soar. Chapter 12. Building your support system. The power of connection. Imagine trying to build a house entirely by yourself, without any help from architects, builders, or even neighbors offering a helping hand. It would be an incredibly slow, difficult, and potentially impossible task. The same applies to cultivating unshakable self-confidence and self-worth. While this book emphasizes internal work, it's crucial to understand a fundamental truth. No one does it alone. We are social beings, wired for connection, and healthy relationships are not merely a nice to have, they are a vital pillar of our well-being and a powerful force in building and maintaining our inner strength. This chapter explores why authentic connection is so essential and how to intentionally build and nurture a supportive network that uplifts your confidence and affirms your worth. In a world that often celebrates fierce independence, it's easy to believe that true strength means handling everything on your own. But scientific research consistently contradicts this notion. A vast body of studies in psychology, sociology, and even neuroscience confirms a strong correlation between social connection and overall well-being, longevity, and mental health. People with strong social ties tend to live longer, experience less depression and anxiety, cope better with stress, and report higher levels of happiness and satisfaction with life. Our brains are even wired for connection. When we bond with others, our bodies release oxytocin, often called the love hormone, which fosters feelings of trust, empathy, and belonging. This isn't just about feeling good, it's a fundamental aspect of human thriving. So how do you identify the positive connections in your life versus those that might be draining or diminishing? Positive relationships are those that uplift you, inspire you, respect you, and offer genuine support. They are characterized by mutual respect. Both parties value each other's opinions, time, and boundaries. Trust. You feel safe being vulnerable and know that your confidences are held sacred. Empathy. Others genuinely try to understand your feelings and perspectives, and you extend the same to them. Encouragement. They celebrate your successes and offer constructive support during challenges, without envy or judgment. Authenticity. You can be your true self around them without fear of judgment. Reciprocity. There's a healthy give and take, not a one-sided dynamic. Conversely, relationships that might chip away at your confidence or worth often involve constant criticism or negativity, always finding fault or focusing on the bad. Lack of support, dismissing your feelings or achievements. People-pleasing demands, constantly asking for favors without reciprocating or expecting you to put their needs first. Jealousy or competition, feeling like you can't share your successes without a negative reaction. One-sidedness, you're always giving, never receiving. Feeling drained, you leave interactions with them feeling exhausted or worse about yourself. Identifying these dynamics is crucial. It's not about cutting people out of your life indiscriminately, but about understanding where your energy is best invested and where you might need to create healthier boundaries, as discussed in Chapter 8. Once you've identified your positive connections, how do you actively cultivate and nurture these healthy relationships? It requires intentional effort, just like any other skill. Practice. Active listening. When someone is speaking, truly listen with the intent to understand, not just to reply. Put away distractions, make eye contact, and ask clarifying questions. People feel valued when they feel truly heard, and feeling valued reinforces their worth, strengthening the bond between you. Invest quality time. In our busy lives, it's easy for relationships to become superficial. Make time for genuine connection. This might mean scheduling a regular coffee date, taking a walk together, or simply having a meaningful phone call where you catch up on more than just surface-level events. Show appreciation and gratitude. Don't assume people know you appreciate them. Express it regularly. A heartfelt thank you, a genuine compliment, or a small gesture of kindness can go a long way in strengthening bonds. When you show appreciation, you foster a positive emotional environment that benefits everyone. Communicate honestly and openly. Healthy relationships thrive on honest communication, even when it's difficult. This doesn't mean being brutally frank without sensitivity, but rather expressing your needs, feelings, and boundaries respectfully. It takes courage to be honest, but it builds trust and mutual understanding. Offer support and be present for others. Just as you value support, be a supportive presence in others' lives. Celebrate their successes as genuinely as you would your own. Be there for them during their challenges, offering a listening ear, practical help, or just a comforting presence. Reciprocity is key to sustainable, healthy relationships. A particularly challenging but incredibly empowering aspect of building a support system is the art of receiving support. For many, especially those who have struggled with self-worth, asking for help can feel like admitting weakness or being a burden. This is a limiting belief that needs to be challenged. Asking for help is not a sign of inadequacy. It is a sign of self-awareness, humility, and strength. It acknowledges that you are human and that no one is expected to navigate life entirely on their own. When you allow others to support you, you are giving them the gift of being helpful and valuable, which can deepen the connection between you. It also reinforces your own self-worth by acknowledging that you are deserving of care and assistance. Practice receiving support by starting small. Ask for a minor favor that feels low stakes, like advice on a small decision or help with a quick task. Being specific. Instead of a vague, "I need help," clearly articulate what kind of support you need. Expressing gratitude. A sincere thank you acknowledges their effort and reinforces their willingness to help again. Letting go of control. Allow others to help in their own way, even if it's not exactly how you would have done it. Finally, contributing to others or a cause larger than yourself is a profound way to boost your sense of value and connection. When you give back, whether through volunteering, mentoring someone, or simply offering a kind word, you experience a sense of purpose and efficacy that strengthens your self-worth. You see that your actions have a positive impact, and that reinforces your belief that you are a valuable and capable individual. This is a two-way street. You offer support and connection to others, and in doing so, you reinforce your own sense of belonging and significance. Giving is a powerful act of self-worth because it stems from a place of abundance and capacity within yourself. Building a strong support system takes time and intention, just like cultivating any other aspect of unshakable self-confidence. It requires vulnerability, honest communication, and a willingness to both give and receive. But the rewards are immense: deeper relationships, greater resilience in the face of challenges, and a profound sense of belonging that roots your self-worth in the rich tapestry of human connection. You are not meant to walk this path alone. Embrace the power of connection and allow your relationships to be a source of constant affirmation for the amazing person you are. Chapter 13. Celebrating your journey. Gratitude, joy, and continued growth. As we've moved through the previous chapters, you've been doing profound work. You've explored the subtle whispers of your inner critic, learned to master your self-talk, taken courageous baby steps, built new competencies, nourished your physical body, broken free from comparison, set healthy boundaries, embraced self-compassion, and cultivated resilience. That's a remarkable journey. Yet in our fast-paced, goal-oriented world, it's all too common to immediately jump to the next thing, to focus only on what still needs to be done, or to dismiss our progress as not enough. This chapter is about the vital practice of pausing, acknowledging, and truly celebrating your journey, not just the destination. It's about integrating gratitude and joy into your daily life, and understanding that cultivating an unshakable sense of self-confidence and self-worth is a continuous, beautiful, lifelong process of growth. The human brain has a natural negativity bias, meaning it's more likely to focus on what's wrong, what's missing, or what still needs fixing. This was an evolutionary advantage, helping our ancestors survive by being alert to threats. However, in modern life, it can lead to a constant sense of dissatisfaction, preventing us from truly appreciating our progress and the good in our lives. If you don't consciously acknowledge how far you've come, you risk feeling perpetually inadequate, regardless of how much you achieve. Celebrating your journey is a powerful countermeasure to this bias. It actively retrains your brain to notice and appreciate your efforts and achievements, reinforcing positive neural pathways. Every time you genuinely acknowledge a step forward, however small, you tell your brain, "This is good. Let's do more of this." The most powerful tool for celebrating your journey is the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a conscious, intentional practice of noticing and appreciating the good in your life, even amidst challenges. And the scientific benefits of gratitude are extensive and well documented. Research by psychologists like Dr. Robert Emmons has shown that people who regularly practice gratitude report higher levels of positive emotions, like joy, enthusiasm and optimism, increased well-being, better sleep quality, stronger immune systems, reduced stress and anxiety, and even improved relationships. It's like a daily dose of emotional sunshine. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance, from what's wrong to what's right, and that shift powerfully reaffirms your worthiness. How to integrate the practice of gratitude into your daily life. The gratitude journal or mental list. Each day, write down or mentally list at least 3 specific things you are grateful for. Be specific. Instead of, "I'm grateful for my family," try, "I'm grateful for the laugh I shared with my sister today," or "I'm grateful for my child's patience when I was stressed." The more specific you are, the more profoundly you can feel the emotion of gratitude. Daily 3 good things. At the end of each day before bed, reflect on 3 positive things that happened that day, no matter how small. This could be a delicious meal, a moment of sunshine, a kind word from a stranger, or a task you completed. This trains your brain to actively seek out and notice the good. Mindful appreciation. Integrate gratitude into simple, everyday moments. As you drink your morning coffee, savor the warmth and taste. As you walk outside, notice the colors of the sky or the sound of the birds. As you get into bed, appreciate the comfort of your blankets. These tiny moments of appreciation accumulate, building a greater sense of contentment. Express gratitude to others. Verbally expressing your appreciation to people in your life not only strengthens your relationships, as discussed in Chapter 12, but also reinforces your own feelings of gratitude and value. A sincere thank you can brighten someone else's day and your own. Beyond gratitude, actively embracing joy is another crucial component of celebrating your journey. Joy isn't just about big, exciting events. It's about finding delight in the ordinary, giving yourself permission to experience lightness and pleasure. For many, especially those who have struggled with self-worth, there's an unconscious belief that they don't deserve joy, or that they must earn it through constant striving. This is a lie. You are inherently worthy of joy. Actively seeking and savoring joyful moments is a powerful reaffirmation of that worthiness. How to embrace joy. Identify your joy. Triggers. What activities, sounds, sights, or smells genuinely make you feel happy and light? Is it listening to music, dancing, spending time in nature, reading a good book, engaging in a hobby, or simply laughing with friends? Make a list. Prioritize joyful activities. Intentionally schedule moments of joy into your day or week, just like you would any other important appointment. Don't wait for someday or for everything to be perfect. Savor the moments. When you are experiencing joy, pause and fully immerse yourself in it. Notice the sensations, the feelings, the sounds. Don't let it rush past you. This conscious savoring amplifies the positive emotions and helps them stick in your memory. Allow yourself to be imperfectly joyful. Let go of the need for perfect conditions or the fear that joy won't last. Embrace joy in its messy, authentic forms. Laugh loudly, sing off-key, dance awkwardly. Who cares? Your joy is your own. Finally, celebrating your journey also means embracing lifelong learning and curiosity. Cultivating unshakable self-confidence and self-worth isn't a one-and-done deal. It's an ongoing process of growth, adaptation, and continuous discovery. A truly confident person understands that they don't know everything, and they remain open to new information, new perspectives, and new experiences. Maintaining a curious mind keeps you engaged with life, prevents stagnation, and fuels your innate drive for growth. It reinforces your belief that you are capable of learning and evolving, no matter your age or circumstances. This ongoing commitment is key. There will be days when the inner critic tries to sneak back in, days when you stumble, and days when you feel less confident. That's part of being human. The goal isn't perfection, but consistent, compassionate effort. Think of it like tending a garden. It requires regular watering, weeding, and nurturing. Your inner landscape is the same. By consistently practicing gratitude, embracing joy, staying curious, and acknowledging your progress, You are actively nurturing the seeds of unshakable self-confidence and self-worth that you have planted throughout this book. Remember, every single step you've taken to read this far, to reflect and to try new practices, is a testament to your commitment to yourself. That alone is something to celebrate. You are growing, you are learning, and you are building a deeper, more resilient sense of self every single day. Take a moment right now. Acknowledge yourself. Feel the gratitude. Embrace the joy. You are worthy of all of it, and this magnificent journey of growth is truly your own. Chapter 14. Your Unshakable Future, a Lifelong Journey. Conclusion. You have arrived at the final pages of this book, but truly you are at the beginning of an incredible new chapter in your life. You have embarked on a profound journey, moving from the quiet whisper of self-doubt towards the solid ground of unshakable self-confidence and self-worth. You've peeled back layers of misconception, challenged ingrained limiting beliefs, and actively begun to reshape your inner world. Let's briefly revisit the transformative path you've walked. We started by decoding confidence and worth, understanding that confidence is about your abilities, while self-worth is about your inherent value, and how a strong sense of worth underpins lasting confidence. You began to unmask your inner critic, identifying those persistent negative voices and understanding where they came from. Then you learned to master your self-talk, turning harsh inner commentary into compassionate, empowering words, literally rewiring your brain. You embraced action over apathy, realizing that taking small, consistent steps is the most powerful way to build confidence. And that competence grows through deliberate practice. We explored the vital wellness connection, recognizing that nourishing your body through sleep, nutrition, and movement is an essential act of self-worth. You learned to navigate the treacherous waters of the comparison trap, choosing to stay in your own unique lane. You discovered the liberating art of saying no and setting healthy boundaries, affirming your value and protecting your energy. You embraced imperfection through self-compassion, understanding that kindness towards yourself is a far more powerful motivator than harsh criticism. And you cultivated resilience through challenges, learning how to bounce back stronger from life's inevitable setbacks. Finally, you explored finding your true north through identifying your core values and purpose, understanding the power of authenticity, and recognized the profound necessity of building your support system through genuine human connection and the power of gratitude. You have acquired a powerful toolkit, not just of concepts, but of actionable steps and practical strategies that you can apply immediately to your life. The most crucial takeaway is this: unshakable self-confidence and self-worth are not qualities you passively acquire or wait for. They are cultivated. They are a product of consistent, compassionate effort. They are built brick by brick through every conscious choice you make, every negative thought you challenge, every small step you take, and every act of self-kindness you offer yourself. Life will continue to present challenges. The inner critic might occasionally try to creep back in, old habits might resurface, and you will undoubtedly stumble from time to time. This is not a sign of failure. It is simply part of the human experience. The difference now is that you have the awareness, the tools, and the understanding to navigate these moments with greater grace, resilience, and self-compassion. You are no longer at the mercy of your doubts. You are the architect of your responses. Remember to be patient with yourself. Cultivating an unshakable inner foundation is a lifelong practice, not a race to a finish line. There will be days when it feels easier and days when it feels harder. On those harder days, be gentle. Revisit the chapters that resonate most. Remind yourself of the progress you've already made. Lean into the self-compassion and the growth mindset. Consistency, not perfection, is the key. Every small imperfect step forward still counts as progress. And here is the most profound truth, the beating heart of this entire journey. You are already worthy. Your worth is not something you earn, something you achieve, or something you prove. It is inherent. You are worthy simply because you exist. This book hasn't given you worth. It has helped you realize, uncover, and act from the truth of the worth you already possess. It has equipped you to shed the layers of doubt and fear that obscured this fundamental truth, allowing your authentic, capable, and infinitely valuable self to shine brightly. This is your birthright. The scientific understanding of neuroplasticity reminds us that your brain is constantly changing and adapting throughout your entire life. This means that you are always capable of learning, growing, and strengthening these inner qualities. Every time you consciously choose a new thought, take an empowering action, or practice self-compassion, you are physically reshaping your brain, making the path to confidence and worth clearer and more automatic. The power of compounding small efforts means that these seemingly tiny daily actions, when consistently applied, will lead to monumental, lasting shifts in how you feel about yourself and how you move through the world. Your unshakable future begins now. It's a future where you can speak your truth, pursue your passions, navigate challenges with courage, build authentic connections, and live a life filled with purpose and joy. It is a future where you trust yourself, accept yourself, and know deep in your bones that you are enough exactly as you are. Go forth with courage, practice with compassion, live with authenticity. The world awaits your unshakable presence. Your journey continues, and it is a magnificent one.